Hello, friends, and welcome to Pathologic Volume 2, Episode 26. I hope you enjoyed yesterday's special little marathon of 5 different puzzles, but today we are getting back into our standard format of looking at one new puzzle type and talking about how to solve it. And today's type is called Masyu, and it is a classic, so you may have run into it before, but in case you haven't, we will get you covered here. You can always play along by clicking the links in the description below, or you can just watch me solve it right after we take a look at the rules. The rules of Masyu are: draw a non-intersecting loop through the centers of some cells that passes through every circle. So this is one of our lovely loop drawing genres. As you can see in the final result, we have a loop that is going orthogonally, vertically and horizontally only, and going through some but not all the cells in the grid. The loop must turn on black circles and travel straight through the cells on either side. So this rule and the next one are maybe non-intuitive, but you get a sense for them pretty quickly as you solve these puzzles. So we're saying that this black dot must have a 90-degree turn in it and can't turn again in the cells right next to it. They've got to travel at least one cell through there, like this one does. This is the minimal case. Turns, goes straight, and then may turn again after that in both directions. The loop must go straight through white circles and turn in at least one of the cells on either side. So again, the basic rule of going straight through is fine, but the other part you have to start getting in your head, which is that right next to that white circle there must be a turn in at least one of the two adjacent cells. We can't go straight through and continue on both sides. Those are all of the rules of Masyu, so it's time to solve a puzzle. Today's Masyu was set by Eric Fox. One of the first things I'm looking for in a Masyu puzzle are dots that are right on the edges or right next to the edges of the grid. White cells to begin with. If they are along the border, since we have to go straight through a white cell, that tells us the order in which, or the direction in which that line goes. Lets us draw a line through there. In addition, if we have patterns where the white dots are close together, that can often tell us which side of the white dot has a turn, because as we remember from the rules, at least one of them must turn. So, for example, in this case, this white dot has a straight line on one side of it, so it must turn on the other side. And because we're up against the edge of the grid, we know which direction that's going to happen in. Same thing happens on the other side, although we could deduce that as well by the fact that this is in a corner. We can do exactly the same thing down here, and that gives us a forced turn here. This one we don't know if it turns or goes straight through, because again, it could be both or only one that turns. Now let's think about black dots for a second. Black dots along the edge, or even one space away from the edge, since they have to turn, we know part of the resulting line, because we have to have a horizontal and a vertical. So let's take this one as an example down here in this corner. Let's start with this one actually. Better example. This will need a vertical line going in one direction from the circle, but regardless of that, we need a horizontal, and that is forced to be one direction only. And remember that a black dot isn't just a turn, it's a turn with a straight line on either side. So we're going to have a line going straight out from the edge whenever we have a black dot near an edge. So here we've got one near a corner, so we can do that for both edges. The horizontal one has to be west, and the vertical one has to be north. And we can repeat that for all the black dots that are near edges, saying that they need to go away from the edge in one direction. Some of these now are next to not edges, but I guess virtual edges, places where they couldn't continue through because of another drawn line. So this can't go east because even though it's 2 away from the edge, it can't get into this cell. So this will go west. Similarly, this can't go west, it goes east. And this can't go west, it goes east. Same thing here. All right, that's all of those. We've drawn some lines that have entered white cells and they must continue through. And white cells, white dots, can't have straight lines on both sides of them. And we've got straight line on one side of them in all 4 of these cases. So we're not going to continue. We're going to turn. In this case, we couldn't turn west because then we'd close the loop too early. So this turns east, forcing this one to go. It can't go north because it's a dead end. It's got to go south. This one could go either direction. This has to turn now because it's a black dot. It can't go west, so it does go east. Can't go north, or it would get into a cul-de-sac. So it goes south. Now we know which direction this turns because if it goes west, we've closed too early. So it goes east. Now this end has become constrained. We can't go south. So we've got to go west, and we've got to get out through the only gap there is down to here, and we've linked up right there. Next up, we've got some circles that have a marked can't go past edge, and since they're white circles, they've got to go straight through horizontally or vertically, and we now know it's not horizontally, so it is vertically in both cases. We've got another case where we've got a white circle with a straight line on one side that has to have a turn on the other side. And neither of these now on this red line could turn into the middle of the loop because that would then force it to close and be a small loop. So these both turn out, and this one has only one place to go. It goes out like this. This can't close too early. Can't go in here because it would be a dead end, so it does link up with the rest of the loop up here, giving us the direction of this turn. And now right here, we've got dead ends if we go west or if we go north. So we do go south. This one can't go north, it would be a dead end. Goes south and hooks up right back here. And that is how we solve a Masyu.